Welcome to HOA mess. She wanted a scapegoat, and she picked me. I am not losing this one. Angela Mercer, the board secretary of Lakeview Heights Homeowners Association, stood on my front porch and shouted that she could trespass me from common areas for being a thief. She was waving a torn cardboard mailer in one hand and a stack of orange warning tags in the other, her key ring jangling like she was announcing her authority. I had no idea what she was talking about. This is Nashville, Tennessee, and I teach middle school English, which means my paycheck is stretched thin and my employer is watching my attendance like a hawk. One more late arrival ends my probation, so I cannot afford surprise fees, tow costs, or HOA drama that makes me miss work. Angela knew that. She smiled when she said it. Angela jabbed the mailer toward me. This was in your trash area. I saw it this morning. You stole a package from the clubhouse mailroom and you tore it open like an animal. I did not touch your mail, I said. I do not even go to the clubhouse mailroom. I have my packages sent to my porch. Angela smirked. You signed the covenants. Now you live the covenants. That means I can inspect common areas and report violations. This mailer is evidence. She pulled a blue baseball cap lower over her forehead and pointed at me like I was a criminal. Someone posted a blurry clip on the neighborhood app last night. It shows a person in a gray jacket near the mailroom. That is you. I have never been to the mailroom at night, I said. Let me see the clip. Angela shook her head. I do not have to show you anything. Multiple neighbors saw you. They reported it to me this morning. She held up her phone, but she would not let me zoom in. The video was paused on a frame so blurry I could not tell if it was even a person. The time bar was unreadable. I squinted at the screen. That could be anyone, I said. That could be you. Angela laughed. I am the board secretary. I have no reason to steal. You, on the other hand, have been late on your dues twice this year. That was auto-pay delays, I said. I fixed it. Angela tapped her phone screen. We can tow first and explain later. That is what the towing policy says. If you keep lying, I will have your car removed by end of day. She turned and walked down the steps, her key ring jangling with every step. I will be filing a formal complaint with the board. You are banned from the clubhouse, the pool, the gym, and the mailroom until this is resolved. If I see you near any common area, I will call the police and have you trespassed. I stood there gripping my pen so hard my knuckles went white. I had to be at school in 40 minutes. I did not have time for this. Angela got into her car and drove off. I went back inside and pulled up the neighborhood app on my phone. The post was still there. A user named Lake Hill Watch 47 had uploaded a 15-second doorbell camera clip showing a figure in a gray jacket walking near the clubhouse mailroom around 9 at night. The caption said, "Anyone know who this is?" Looks suspicious. Angela had commented 3 times. That is the tenant in Unit 214. I have received multiple reports. I am handling it. I scrolled down. No one else had commented. No one else had reported anything. Angela was the only one talking. I screenshot the post and texted my neighbor across the hall, a guy named Marcus who works from home and sees everything. He replied in 30 seconds. Bro, I saw Angela at your trash cans this morning around 6. She was holding something. Looked like a torn box. I called Marcus. He picked up on the first ring. What did you see exactly? I asked. Marcus sighed. I was taking my dog out. Angela was crouched by your bins with a torn mailer in her hand. She looked around, then she walked away. I thought it was weird, but I did not say anything. Did you record it? I asked. Marcus paused. No, man. I was half asleep. But I can tell you it happened. I thanked him and hung up. This was a setup. Angela had planted the mailer by my bins. Then she used it to accuse me of theft. Now she was threatening to block my deliveries and trespass me from common areas. I looked at the time. I had 30 minutes to get to school. I grabbed my keys and my evidence binder, a black 3-ring binder I keep for HOA paperwork, and I drove to the Lakeview Heights management office. The management office is in a strip mall 2 miles from the neighborhood. I parked and walked in. The receptionist, a young woman named Tasha, looked up from her desk and smiled. Hey, she said. What can I help you with? I need to file a complaint against a board member, I said. Angela Mercer is accusing me of theft and threatening to tow my car. She planted evidence by my trash cans this morning. Tasha frowned. Okay, let me get the manager. She stood and walked to the back office. A minute later, a man in a polo shirt came out. His name was Derek, and he was the property manager. He did not look happy to see me. What is this about? Derek asked. I explained the situation. I showed him the neighborhood app post, the screenshot of Angela's comments, and Marcus's text. Derek crossed his arms. Look, Derek said. Angela is a board member. She has the authority to issue violations and inspect common areas. If she says you stole something, I have to take that seriously. I did not steal anything, I said. She planted the mailer by my bins. My neighbor saw her. Derek shook his head. I cannot just take your word for it. Do you have video? I do not have a camera at my bins, I said. But I can get a statement from Marcus. Derek sighed. That is not enough. If Angela files a formal complaint, the board will review it at the next meeting. Until then, I have to enforce the access restrictions she requested. I felt my chest tighten. You are banning me from common areas based on her word alone? Derek nodded. That is policy. If you want to appeal, you can submit a written request. The board meets in 3 weeks. 3 weeks? I said. I cannot wait 3 weeks. I need to clear my name now. Derek shrugged. That is all I can do. You can also hire an attorney if you want to push back. I walked out of the office before I said something I would regret. Tasha gave me a sympathetic look as I passed. I sat in my car and checked the time. I had 15 minutes to get to school. I texted my principal and told her I would be 5 minutes late. She replied with a thumbs-up emoji, but I knew she was keeping track. I drove to school and taught my first 3 classes on autopilot. During lunch, I pulled out my phone and started making calls. I called the Lakeview Heights HOA office number and got a voicemail. I called the towing company listed on the covenant sheet and got another voicemail. I called the Nashville Police non-emergency line and asked if I could file a report for false accusations. The dispatcher said I could, but it would not stop the HOA from enforcing their rules. If you are enjoying this chaos, hit that like button and subscribe for more HOA revenge stories. I needed evidence, real evidence. Something that proved I was not near the mailroom that night. I pulled up my bank app and checked my transaction history. At 9:05, the night of the blurry video, I had used my debit card at a gas station 4 miles away. I screenshot the transaction and saved it. Then I texted Marcus again. Can you write a statement about what you saw this morning? I need it in writing. Marcus replied 5 minutes later. Yeah, man, I got you. I will email it tonight. After school, I drove back to the neighborhood and parked in my assigned spot. Angela was standing near the mailbox cluster talking to another resident, a woman in her 60s named Linda. Angela saw me and pointed. There he is, Angela said loudly. The thief. Linda looked at me with wide eyes. Angela kept talking. I found the evidence this morning. He tore open a package and left the mailer by his trash cans. I have already banned him from common areas. Linda looked uncomfortable. Angela, maybe we should let the board handle this. Angela shook her head. The board trusts me. I have been secretary for 6 years. This man is a liar and a thief. I walked past them without saying anything. I went into my building and up to my unit. I sat down at my kitchen table and opened my evidence binder. I had the bank transaction, Marcus's statement, and the neighborhood app screenshots. It was not enough. I needed something that directly contradicted Angela's story. I thought about the blurry video. If I could prove it was not me in the footage, Angela's entire case would fall apart. I pulled up the neighborhood app again and watched the clip frame by frame. The figure in the video was wearing a gray jacket, but so was half the neighborhood. The timestamp was unreadable, and the angle was too high to see a face. Then I noticed something. The mailbox cluster had a security camera mounted on the wall. It was installed by the HOA 2 years ago after a vandalism incident. If the camera was working that night, it would have captured better footage. I texted Tasha at the management office. Does the clubhouse mailroom camera save footage? How long does it keep recordings? Tasha replied 10 minutes later. It saves for 30 days. You have to submit a formal request to review it. I called the management office and asked to speak to Derek. He picked up on the third ring. I need to request the mailroom camera footage from last night, I said. Can you send me the form? Derek sighed. I will email it to you. But I am not pulling footage without board approval. The board meets in 3 weeks, I said. The footage will be deleted by then. Derek paused. I will see what I can do. No promises. I hung up and opened my email. Derek had sent the form. I filled it out and sent it back within 5 minutes. Then, I waited. 2 hours later, Derek called me back. I pulled the footage. You are not going to like this. What do you mean? I asked. Derek cleared his throat. The camera was offline that night. Maintenance was replacing the DVR. There is no footage. I felt my stomach drop. You are telling me the one night Angela accuses me of theft, the camera was offline? Derek did not say anything for a moment. Yeah, that is what I am telling you. I hung up and stared at the wall. Angela had planned this perfectly. She knew the camera was offline. She knew no one could prove she was lying. I spent the next 2 days gathering everything I could. Marcus sent me his written statement. I printed my bank transaction. I screenshot every comment Angela had made on the neighborhood app. I even drove to the gas station and asked for a receipt reprint with the timestamp. On Wednesday morning, Angela showed up at my door again. She was holding a clipboard and a handheld radio. I am here to inform you that the board has approved a formal hearing, Angela said. You have been accused of theft and vandalism. The hearing is scheduled for 3 weeks from today. I did not vandalize anything, I said. Angela smiled. The torn mailer is vandalism. You destroyed someone else's property. I did not touch the mailer, I said. You planted it. Angela clicked her radio. That is defamation. I could sue you for that. Sue me, I said. I have witnesses. Angela laughed. No one is going to believe a tenant over a board member. You signed the covenants. Now you live the covenants. She turned and walked away. I closed the door and leaned against it. I was running out of time. My employer had already sent me a warning email about my attendance. If I missed another day for a hearing, I would lose my job. I called the only person I could think of who might help. Her name was Sharon Caldwell, and she was the regional supervisor for the property management company. Tasha had mentioned her once during a complaint about a parking issue. Sharon hated drama, and she hated board members who abused their authority. I found Sharon's number on the management company website and called her. She picked up on the second ring. "This is Sharon," she said. I explained the situation. I told her about the planted mailer, the blurry video, the offline camera, and Angela's threats. Sharon listened without interrupting. When I finished, Sharon sighed. Angela Mercer is a problem. I have had 3 complaints about her in the past year. But I cannot override the board. Can you at least review the access logs? I asked. If Angela was at the mailroom that night, it will show on the gate fob log. Sharon paused. I can pull the logs. Give me 24 hours. I hung up and felt a tiny flicker of hope. If the gate fob log showed Angela at the mailroom that night, her entire story would collapse. The next day, Sharon called me back. I have the logs. Angela swiped her fob at the clubhouse mailroom entrance at 8:53, the night of the video. She was there for 11 minutes. Can you send me a copy? I asked. Sharon hesitated. I can send it to you, but it is not going to be enough to stop the hearing. You need to confront her with it publicly. How do I do that? I asked. Sharon thought for a moment. Derek is required to review formal complaints before the board hearing. You can request a pre-hearing meeting at the management office. Bring your evidence. Bring Angela. Make her explain herself in front of witnesses. I thanked Sharon and hung up. I emailed Derek and requested a pre-hearing meeting. He replied 2 hours later. Meeting scheduled for Friday at 10 in the morning. Angela has been notified. Friday morning, I woke up early and printed everything. I had the gate fob log, Marcus's statement, my bank transaction, the gas station receipt, and the neighborhood app screenshots. I put them all in my evidence binder and drove to the management office. Tasha was at the front desk again. She gave me a nervous smile. Angela is already in the conference room. I walked to the back and opened the door. Angela was sitting at the table with her clipboard, her stack of orange warning tags, and her key ring. Derek was sitting across from her. Sharon was standing by the window. Angela looked at me and smirked. This is a waste of time. You are just delaying the inevitable. I sat down and opened my binder. I am here to present evidence that proves I did not steal anything. Angela rolled her eyes. You cannot prove a negative. I can prove you lied, I said. I slid the gate fob log across the table. You were at the mailroom the night of the video. You swiped your fob at 8:53 and stayed for 11 minutes. Angela picked up the printout and stared at it. Her face went pale. This is fabricated. Anyone can print a fake log. Sharon stepped forward. That log came from our system. It is not fake. Derek leaned forward. Angela, why were you at the mailroom that night? Angela set the printout down. I was checking for violations. That is my job. For 11 minutes? I asked. What were you checking? Angela did not answer. I pulled out Marcus's statement and slid it across the table. My neighbor saw you at my trash cans the morning you accused me. You were holding a torn mailer. Angela shook her head. That is hearsay. Sharon crossed her arms. Angela, this is not looking good for you. Angela stood up. I do not have to sit here and listen to this. I am a board member. I have authority. Derek held up his hand. Sit down, Angela. We are not done. Angela sat back down, but her hands were shaking. I pulled out my bank transaction and the gas station receipt. I was 4 miles away at 9:05 that night. I have a debit card transaction and a receipt. The blurry video you posted is not me. Angela stared at the receipts. She did not say anything. Sharon looked at Derek. Pull the clubhouse camera footage from that night. If Angela was there, it will show what she did. Angela stood up again. The camera was offline that night. There is no footage. How did you know that? Sharon asked. Angela froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Derek leaned back in his chair. Angela, did you disable the camera? Angela grabbed her clipboard and her stack of warning tags. I do not have to answer that. This meeting is over. She walked out of the room. The door slammed behind her. Sharon looked at me. I am going to recommend the board suspend her pending an investigation, Sharon said. In the meantime, your access restrictions are lifted. I thanked her and walked out. Tasha was standing by the front desk. She gave me a thumbs up. I drove home and sat in my car for a minute. I had cleared my name, but I knew Angela was not done. She had too much pride to let this go. That afternoon, I got a text from Marcus. Bro, Angela is at the clubhouse right now, talking to Linda and 2 other residents. She is telling them you faked the logs. I grabbed my phone and my evidence binder and drove to the clubhouse. Angela was standing in the lobby with Linda, a man named Greg, and a woman named Pamela. Angela was waving her clipboard. He bribed the management company, Angela said. He paid them to print fake logs. I have been secretary for 6 years. I would never steal. I walked into the lobby. Angela saw me and pointed. There he is. The liar. I pulled out my phone and opened the neighborhood app. I turned the volume up and played the blurry video. Then I pulled up the gate fob log on my phone and held it next to the video. The timestamp on the video was 9:02. The fob log showed Angela swiped in at 8:53. If I stole the package, why was your fob used 9 minutes before the video timestamp? I asked. Angela stared at my phone. Linda looked at Angela. Angela, is that true? Angela shook her head. The timestamps are wrong. The system is glitchy. I pulled out Marcus's statement and handed it to Linda. My neighbor saw Angela at my trash cans the morning she accused me. She was holding a torn mailer. Linda read the statement. She looked at Angela. Angela, this does not look good. Angela grabbed the statement and tore it in half. This is defamation. I am calling my attorney. Greg stepped between us. Angela, maybe you should calm down. Angela pushed past him and walked out of the clubhouse. Linda looked at me. I am sorry. I did not know. I thanked her and left. I drove home and sat at my kitchen table. I checked my phone. Marcus had sent me a new text. Bro, she just went into the clubhouse storage closet. I saw her through the window. She had a shopping bag. I called Marcus. What do you mean a shopping bag? Marcus lowered his voice. She was pulling stuff out of a cardboard box and putting it in a bag. It looked like phone accessories. Small boxes. I hung up and called Sharon. I told her what Marcus saw. Sharon sighed. I will send Derek over there right now. Do not do anything. Let us handle it. I waited at home. 20 minutes later, Derek called me. We found a stash box in the storage closet. It had opened packages, phone accessories, and mail from at least 4 residents. Angela had a key to the closet. Is she there? I asked. Derek paused. She is. And she is refusing to talk. I grabbed my keys and drove to the clubhouse. When I got there, a Nashville police cruiser was parked in front. A deputy was standing in the lobby talking to Derek and Sharon. Angela was sitting on a bench with her arms crossed. Her key ring was on the floor next to her. The deputy looked at me. Are you the complainant? I nodded. She accused me of stealing a package. Then she planted evidence by my trash cans and tried to ban me from common areas. The deputy wrote something in his notebook. We found the stash box. It matches the description in the report. Angela, do you have anything to say? Angela stared at the floor. She did not say anything. The deputy looked at Derek. We are going to issue an incident number. The management company can decide if they want to press charges. Derek nodded. We will. And we are terminating the vendor contract she used to access the storage closet without oversight. The deputy looked at Angela. You are not under arrest, but we are going to file a report. If any of the residents want to press charges, you will be contacted. Angela stood up and grabbed her key ring. She walked out of the clubhouse without looking at anyone. Sharon looked at me. The board is holding an emergency meeting tomorrow night. Angela is being removed as secretary. The formal hearing against you is canceled. I thanked her and walked outside. Marcus was standing by his car. He gave me a fist bump. You did it, man. I drove home and collapsed on my couch. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Tasha. The board just voted to refund your access restriction fees and issue a formal apology. Angela is banned from all common areas pending the investigation. I replied with a thumbs up. Then I opened my evidence binder one last time. I had the gate fob log, the bank transaction, the gas station receipt, Marcus's statement, and the neighborhood app screenshots. I also had the incident number from the police report. The next morning, I woke up to a knock on my door. It was Linda. She was holding a casserole dish. I wanted to apologize, Linda said. I should have listened to you from the start. I thanked her and took the casserole. She smiled and walked away. That afternoon, Sharon called me. The board met last night. Angela has been removed as secretary. The HOA is also conducting a management audit that will expose the pattern of abuse she used to intimidate residents. What happens to her now? I asked. Sharon paused. She is facing theft charges from 3 residents. The police found her stash box and it had evidence from multiple thefts. She cannot talk her way out of it. I hung up and felt a wave of relief. Angela had spent 6 years abusing her authority, and now it was over. 2 weeks later, I got a letter from the HOA. It was a formal apology signed by the new board president. The letter explained that Angela had been removed from all positions and banned from serving on the board in the future. The HOA was also refunding all fees related to the false accusations and implementing new oversight policies to prevent abuse. I filed the letter in my evidence binder and closed it. A month later, I ran into Marcus at the mailbox cluster. He told me Angela had moved out of the neighborhood. No one knew where she went. I thought about everything that had happened. Angela had tried to destroy my reputation, ban me from common areas, and frame me for theft. She had used her authority to intimidate residents and abuse the system. But in the end, the access log was read out loud during the confrontation at the management office, and it pointed away from me. The management audit exposed the pattern of vendor contract abuse she relied on. Angela was caught with the stash box, and she could not talk her way out of it. The HOA terminated the vendor contract she had abused to access the storage closet, and she was removed from her role. I still teach middle school English. I still live in Lakeview Heights. And I still keep my evidence binder in case I ever need it again. Thanks for watching.